Ghostbusters Paranormal Activity Night. It was the first activity night of the new school year that coincided with the celebration of Halloween in many years. There was girls dressed as witches and cats and boys dressed up as boy wizards and werewolves. But Alex Thurman entered the cafeteria wearing the coolest costume of all. He was dressed in the jumpsuit that could only be worn by a full-fledged Ghostbuster.
That's an awesome costume,
said his friend Spencer Pankow, noticing the very official-looking Ghostbusters costume, outshining his own good Predator costume that he made with his dad in his garage.
How did you make the proton pack so well?
Asked Keith Brewster, his other friend, gushing over the technology in Alex Thurman's costume. Keith was wearing a pumpkin costume that his mother forced him to wear every Halloween. I have a big surprise in store for both of you, said Alex Thurman, pointing at the doorway of the cafeteria dancing area. Suddenly, Ghostbuster Peter Venkman entered the cafeteria, also in his Ghostbusting uniform and proton pack. Keith Brewster and Spencer Pankow were both very impressed and speechless at meeting a real Ghostbuster in person. Alex Thurman had gone to Ghostbusting camp over the summer while his father took care of funeral arrangements for his mother, who passed away sadly after spending most of the winter and all of the spring in the hospital. That was a real hard time for anybody to go through.
Hello, kids,
said Peter Venkman, as he so often did to many kids.
I hear you were all Alex Thurman's friends and that you all are big Ghostbusting fans, so I brought autographs to share with all of you,
said Peter Venkman with autographs in his hand. Just then, the assistant principal Cobb walked up to Peter Venkman in a very lame Dumbledore outfit. He started to get on their case as usual.
I hope you have a hall pass,
demanded the assistant principal Cobb, waving his wand.
You must be the assistant principal Alex Thurman told me about. I heard about how you had treated Alex poorly in the past and that he hasn't done anything wrong and that you side with the bullies instead of with the good kids, and I know Alex Thurman and he is a good kid, said
Peter Venkman, dismissing the assistant principal Cobb's rude behaviors.
If you aren't a chaperone, you can't be here at this activity night,
said the assistant principal Cobb, shouting, waving his wand.
Back off, man. I'm a scientist and am Alex Thurman's guest and friend, and his father put him under my supervision, so I guess that makes me a chaperone now, doesn't it?
Said Peter Venkman, slyly outwitting yet another doofus.
Fine. But you must give me your proton packs, as they may become weapons that the school has a zero-tolerance policy on,
said the assistant principal Cobb as he took away Peter Venkman's proton pack before looking at Alex Thurman's jealously. This is a prop that I made for tonight, and it isn't a weapon, and it can't be used like one, although I'm sure you won't believe me, said Alex Thurman, being as witty as Peter Venkman.
Fine, you may keep your toy proton pack,
scoffed the assistant principal Cobb as he walked away, muttering curses under his breath.
That guy reminds me of a guy who was an EPA agent named Walter Peck. That guy was always in the way of Ghostbusting,
said Peter Venkman, sharpening his perceptions of the assistant principal.
I know! The costume is so cool, I'm sure Rebecca Bates would go out to a movie with you if you asked her,
said Keith Brewster, so excited at the idea that his costume bounced.
Go for it,
added Spencer Pankow, pointing to a girl dressed as a witch next to the DJ booth, slowly dancing to the lame music the party was playing. With a nod from Peter Venkman, Alex Thurman went out on his own until he was standing in front of Rebecca Bates. But before he could ask her out on a date, suddenly the table started hovering above the grounds in a way that said the cafeteria was haunted. The table suddenly came toward Rebecca Bates at full speed. Alex Thurman thought quickly and dove on top of her. The table smashed against the wall and left a dent, but then the sharp pieces of broken table came up and started flying around the room. We have to get you out of here, said Alex Thurman, helping Rebecca to her feet. Strong winds started blowing and everybody had to leave the cafeteria quickly, and were meeting in the hallways where it seemed there was no paranormal activity. So all that was left in the cafeteria was Peter Venkman, Keith Brewster, Spencer Pankow, and Alex Thurman.
Looks like we have a full-fledged haunting on our hands, and it looks like it's a dangerous ghost to be sure. I wish I had a Toby's spirit guide with us right now so we could know for certain, but it looks like it could be as powerful as Vigo or Gozer, said
Peter Venkman, pulling out his PKE meter to measure ghost power.
But why would it haunt a cafeteria?
Asked Spencer Pankow, curious to know.
Maybe we can do something that could make the ghost come to terms with its reasons for haunting and it can go to heaven finally,
said Keith Brewster as he was hit by a chair. Peter Venkman and Alex Thurman laughed at the same time.
It doesn't work like that,
said Peter Venkman, dodging a chair.
We are scientists. We have to bust the ghost to prevent the hauntings anymore. Luckily, the assistant principal character didn't find any of my secret traps. We may just have a chance to catch this ghost yet,
said Peter Venkman, pulling out traps he had hidden inside the folds of his uniform. Let's heat him up, said Alex Thurman as he powered up his very real proton pack that he lied about being a prop earlier. The barrel glowed blue as the supercharged protons emitted more powerful light than regular proton packs. He shot at some knives that were flying around, saving Spencer Pankow from an early end at the end of a sharp end. Screamed the ghost as Alex Thurman gave it a direct hit. Suddenly it became visible and it was angry and monstrous looking.
You will die!
Alex Thurman laughed and said, and blasted it with another proton stream that caused it to explode with slime going everywhere. Now the walls were covered in slime and Keith Brewster's pumpkin costume was ruined.
My mom will kill me,
said Keith Brewster, slapping at the slime.
Better than some ghost, right?
Said Peter Venkman, summing up the situation perfectly. But just then another ghost came, and it was the ghost of Alex Thurman's mother. And Alex couldn't believe what he was seeing.
Alex, I'm so sorry to have left you. I have so much trouble leaving you and your dad and your sister so long ago. And things are really okay, but you have to stop busting ghosts because they are people too.
I doubt it. If that ghost is really your mother, then it would not be haunting a cafeteria at your school, nor would it be telling you to go against yourself in your own dreams of ghostbusting.
Said Peter Venkman.
No!
Shouted the ghost, changing again.
I command you to stop busting ghosts!
It said, and it turned into the ghost of Assistant Principal Cobb.
Holy cow!
Screamed Keith Brewster, scared of ghosts.
It makes sense now. All of the assistant's hatred of Ghostbusters and Alex Thurman, his own prayers and worship of ghosts turned him into a ghost.
Spencer Pankow yelled, worried that he might be destroyed next. It's time to issue a detention slip, said Alex Thurman, letting out a burst of protons to ensnare the evil Assistant Principal Cobb.
I let out the traps.
Said Peter Venkman, throwing traps on the ground.
Don't look at the trap when it opens.
And the traps opened and Peter Venkman stomped down the foot pedal.
I looked at the trap!
Shouted Keith Brewster, his eyes burning from trap light. Let's finish this, yelled Alex Thurman as he slammed the ghost into the trap. That all four friends celebrated together.
We came, we saw, we trapped that ghost.
Announced Peter Venkman to the stunned crowd. Everyone started dancing to music again.
I can't believe Assistant Principal Cobb decided to try and outsmart Alex by pretending to be his own mother.
Said Spencer Pankow, helping Keith clean off his pumpkin costume.
I can't believe that maybe I'll now be able to wear a non-pumpkin costume next Halloween because this one is ruined.
Said Keith Brewster, happy that his costume was ruined.
Now we know. Alex Thurman is not only smart enough to know when tricks are in play, but also mature and adult enough to face his own mother's passing away in a way that is very inspiring.
Said Peter Venkman, happy at his knowledge of Alex Thurman. They looked on at Alex Thurman as Alex Thurman approached Rebecca Bates, and she started dancing with him just as the music changed. It was no longer lame, age-appropriate music, but now was playing the Ghostbusters theme. That got a big thumbs up from Peter Venkman, and the two danced all night. The end.